Tear Institute. Corey, why did you draw one large dry cloud over the whole map of Southeast Asia?
I thought El Niño meant every country gets the same hot and dry weather.
That map is much too varied for one weather symbol.
So my giant dry cloud needs to move?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tear Institute podcast.
Today, we're asking an important question. How may El Niño affect Southeast Asia?
In our earlier episodes, we explained the basic idea of El Niño and how it can change weather patterns.
We also learned that it doesn't make every place hotter at the same time.
Today, we'll focus only on Southeast Asia and the differences inside this large region.
So what is the simple answer?
El Niño may bring less rain to some areas, but Southeast Asia is too large and varied for one simple answer.
In other words, some places may become drier, while other places may have different conditions.
That's right. El Niño may bring drier conditions to some parts of Southeast Asia, but the effects are different across the region.
And we need to think about the season too, right?
We do. The season and location both matter.
By the end of this episode, I want to explain that clearly without saying every place will be dry.
That's our goal. We'll use simple English, careful words, and a few useful examples.
No giant weather symbol over the whole map.
Not unless the symbol says, "Please check your local information." Let's imagine a large map of Southeast Asia on the table in front of us.
I can see long areas of land, many islands, and a lot of sea.
Some parts belong to mainland Southeast Asia. Mainland means large connected areas of land.
So those areas are connected by land, even though national borders divide them.
Right. Other parts belong to maritime Southeast Asia. Maritime means closely connected with seas, islands, and coastlines.
There are so many islands that one island may have different weather from another nearby island.
That can happen. The sea around an island, the direction of the wind, and the shape of the land can all matter.
What about mountains?
Mountains can change where clouds form and where rain falls. One side of a mountain may be wetter than the other side.
So a coastal city, a mountain village, and a farming area may not receive the same rain.
The effects are different across the region.
That sentence already fixes my map.
It also helps us avoid a common mistake. Southeast Asia isn't one single weather zone.
Even one country can have a wet coast, a drier inland area, high mountains, and small islands.
Exactly. Conditions can be different in the north and south, near the sea and far from it, or high in the mountains and low on the plains.
Let me test that idea with our imaginary map.
Go ahead.
City 1 is on a coast. City 2 is behind a mountain. City 3 is on an island.
They're all in Southeast Asia, but they may experience different rainfall during the same month.
City 1 could receive a heavy shower while City 2 stays dry that day.
It could. Daily weather still depends on local clouds, winds, nearby seas, mountains, and other weather systems.
So El Niño changes the chance of some weather patterns. It doesn't control every cloud.
That's an important way to say it.
Does that mean a generally dry season can still have a very rainy day?
It does. A place can be drier than usual over several weeks or months and still have rainy days, thunderstorms, or even a period of heavy rain.
The total rain may be lower, but rain hasn't disappeared.
That's the idea. Drier than usual is a comparison with what is normal for that place and that season.
So normal rainfall isn't one number for all of Southeast Asia?
No. A normal rainy month on one island may be very different from a normal rainy month in an inland city.
That makes the map more complicated, but also more honest.
Weather maps often need more than one color for a reason.
We also need to talk about the monsoon. I hear that word often, but people sometimes use it to mean heavy rain.
A monsoon isn't simply one storm or one day of heavy rain. It's a seasonal wind pattern that brings important changes in rainfall.
Seasonal means it changes with the time of year.
Right. In Southeast Asia, monsoon patterns help shape wetter and drier parts of the year.
Can El Nino stop the monsoon?
We shouldn't say that. The monsoon can still bring rain during El Niño.
But some areas may receive less monsoon rain than they usually do?
That's a better sentence. El Niño may change the amount or pattern of rain connected with the monsoon in some areas.
Does the effect look the same during every monsoon season?
No. The connection can be stronger in some seasons and weaker in others.
Which period often shows a clearer dry tendency?
In parts of Southeast Asia, the tendency toward lower rainfall can be clearer during parts of the southwest monsoon, around the middle to later part of the year.
Especially in some southern and eastern parts of the region?
Often, yes. But that's a broad regional tendency, not a promise for every location. Official regional information also notes that El Niño impacts differ by place and season.
So the sentence needs words like may, often, and in some areas.
Those words are important because the result isn't certain everywhere.
I still have one small problem. If a place receives less monsoon rain, doesn't that mean it has no rain for the whole season?
No. Less than usual doesn't mean zero rain.
That difference sounds simple, but it changes the whole meaning.
Imagine that a town usually receives 10 large containers of rainwater during a season.
But during one El Niño season, it receives 7 containers.
That would be less than usual, but it certainly wouldn't be no rain.
And one of those containers could arrive during a very rainy week.
Exactly. The season may still include sunny days, light rain, thunderstorms, and a few very wet days.
We're talking about the whole period, not saying what happens every afternoon.
Right. El Niño can influence seasonal rainfall chances, but it doesn't write the daily forecast.
What about the northeast monsoon?
The effects can be different then. In some parts of the region, the El Niño influence is often less clear during the northeast monsoon than during the southwest monsoon.
So I shouldn't take a statement about the middle of the year and use it for every other season.
Correct. The season and location both matter.
That's one of our 3 main sentences.
And we'll use it again later, in a real example.
What other things can change monsoon rainfall?
The strength and timing of the monsoon matter. Tropical weather systems, nearby seas, mountains, and local winds also matter.
So El Niño is one important influence, but it isn't working alone.
That's a careful and accurate summary.
I think people like one clear cause because it feels easier.
It does feel easier, but Southeast Asian weather usually has several influences acting together. Let's try a short imaginary situation. This isn't a forecast for any real country.
We're using 2 made-up areas to understand the differences.
Area A is in mainland Southeast Asia. It has a large inland farming area and mountains to the east.
Area B is in maritime Southeast Asia. It includes several islands with warm seas around them.
During one part of an El Niño year, Area A may receive less rain than it usually receives.
Does that mean Area A stays dry for every day of the month?
No, it may still have several rainy days. The total rainfall for the month may simply be lower than its normal amount.
Area B may also experience dry conditions, but perhaps during a different part of the year.
That's possible. Dry conditions means a period with less rain or moisture than usual.
Could one island in Area B remain close to normal?
It could. Local seas, wind direction, mountains, and nearby weather systems may help that island receive more rain.
So 2 nearby islands could still have different results.
Yes. One island might have a longer dry period, while another receives several useful rain events.
And a third nearby area might even receive more rain than normal for part of the season.
That can also happen. A regional dry tendency doesn't remove every wetter area from the map.
Being in the same region does not mean having the same weather.
That's the message of our imaginary map.
Let me change the situation slightly.
All right.
Area A receives less rain early in the season, but more rain arrives later.
Then the final seasonal total may be closer to normal than people first expected.
Area B begins near normal, but later has a longer dry period.
Then Area B may finish the season drier than usual.
Timing changes the result.
It can. Two places can even receive a similar total amount of rain, but the rain may arrive at different times.
How can that matter if the final total is similar?
Imagine rain falls regularly in one area, but in the other area, most of the rain falls during only 2 short periods.
The second area may have long dry gaps between those rainy periods.
Right. People, farms, rivers, and reservoirs may experience those 2 patterns differently.
A reservoir is a place where water is stored, often behind a dam, right?
That's right. You may hear that word, but our main phrase today is water supply.
Before we move there, our imaginary situation is ending.
And it showed one clear point. Broad patterns are useful, but local differences are real.
What may people notice in daily life if an area receives less rain for several weeks?
The effect may begin quietly. The ground can dry faster, small streams may rise less, and plants may lose moisture more quickly.
A reservoir may also receive less new water than it normally receives.
It may. That can make communities watch their water supply more carefully.
What exactly does water supply mean?
Water supply means the water available for homes, farms, businesses, and communities.
So it isn't only the water coming from my kitchen tap.
Correct. It includes the larger system that stores, moves, and provides water.
Here's my simple example. If rain is below normal for several weeks, a reservoir may not receive as much new water as before.
That's a useful example, but the final effect depends on several things.
Such as how much water was already stored?
Yes, water management also matters, and rain may return later in the season.
So less rain doesn't automatically mean every home will have a water shortage.
We shouldn't make that claim. Some places may manage the period well, while other places may face more difficulty.
The starting condition seems important.
Very important. A reservoir that begins nearly full is in a different position from one that begins at a low level.
The number of people using the water also matters.
It does. Local planning, storage, rivers, underground water, and later rainfall can all change the result.
Could people notice longer breaks between rainy days even before they notice a change in water supply?
They might. The soil may look drier, gardens may need more attention, and small ponds may fill more slowly.
But then a thunderstorm could arrive one afternoon.
Yes, that storm wouldn't prove the whole season is wet.
And a week without rain wouldn't prove the whole season will become extremely dry.
Correct. A short period is only one part of the larger picture.
So people need information over time, not only one photo of a dry field or one rainy street.
That's a very good way to think about it.
Does drier than usual always mean drought?
No, it simply means less rain or moisture than the normal level for that place and time.
Drought is a larger topic with different definitions and effects.
Right, and we'll save that deeper discussion for another episode.
For today, we can say some areas may have a longer or drier period.
That keeps the language clear and careful. Rainfall timing is also important for farming in many parts of Southeast Asia.
Is this where we use the word crops?
It is. Crops are plants that farmers grow, such as rice, fruit, or vegetables.
Farmers often plan around the usual rainy and dry parts of the year.
Many do, although farming methods and local conditions are different across the region.
What may happen if rain comes later than usual?
Some crops may have a harder time starting or growing, especially if the delay happens during an important stage.
So timing can be as important as the total amount of rain.
Sometimes it can be.
Let me check that with an example. A farm receives enough rain by the end of the season, so everything must be fine.
Not necessarily. If much of that rain arrives too late, some crops may already have passed an important growing stage.
The final number can look normal, but the timing can still cause problems.
That may happen. On the other hand, irrigation can help some farms.
Irrigation means bringing water to fields through canals, pipes, pumps, or other systems.
Right. The type of crop, soil, irrigation, water storage, and local weather can all change the result.
We also shouldn't say every crop will be damaged.
We shouldn't. Some crops may be more able to manage dry periods than others.
Could one farming area have difficulty while another farming area nearby does reasonably well?
It could. Their soil, water access, planting time, crop type, and rainfall may be different.
That sounds similar to our mountain and coast example.
It is the same larger lesson. Local conditions can change the impact.
People sometimes hear El Niño and immediately expect all farming to fail.
That's too absolute. A better sentence is, lower or later rainfall may make growing conditions harder for some crops.
Lower or later rainfall may make growing conditions harder for some crops.
That sentence explains the risk without predicting the result for every farm.
It also doesn't predict food prices or future production.
Right. Those outcomes depend on many other factors, and we aren't making those predictions today.
Could too much rain in one short period also be less useful than regular rain?
In some situations, yes. Water can run away quickly instead of slowly entering the soil.
So a farmer may prefer useful rain at the right time, not only a large seasonal number.
That's a natural way to understand it.
El Niño may change the chance of lower rainfall, but the local farming impact still depends on the full situation.
Well said.
We also need to discuss fire and haze, but carefully.
We do. Dry conditions can increase the risk of fires on open land or in forests.
Does El Niño directly start those fires?
No, El Niño doesn't light a fire.
A fire needs an ignition source, which means something that starts the fire.
Correct. That source may be connected with human activity, an accident, or in some places a natural cause.
Then what role can dry weather play?
When grass, leaves, trees, or soil become very dry, they may catch fire more easily.
And if little rain falls, a fire may be harder to put out.
That can happen. Dry weather can also allow a fire to continue for longer.
So we should say dry conditions can increase fire risk, not that El Niño starts every fire.
That distinction is essential.
Where does haze enter the picture?
Haze is air that looks unclear because it contains very small particles, often from smoke.
The particles are so small that the air can look gray or less clear.
Right. Smoke from fires can travel with the wind.
Can it travel from one area to another or even across a national border?
It can. Wind direction, fire location, rainfall, and other weather conditions affect where the smoke moves.
So haze in one place may be connected with fires somewhere else.
That's possible, but local fires and local air pollution may also matter.
Does every El Niño create severe haze?
No. A higher risk doesn't mean severe haze will happen every time.
Fires still need to start, and weather conditions can change.
Fire prevention, land conditions, rain, wind, and local actions can all affect the result.
What should listeners do when smoke haze is affecting their area?
They should follow local air quality information and advice from the responsible local authorities.
That advice may be different from place to place.
Yes, local information is important because air conditions can change across short distances and over time.
I like the careful chain here. El Niño may increase the chance of dry weather in some areas.
Dry weather may make land easier to burn and fires harder to control.
Fires need a source that starts them, and smoke may then create haze.
That explains the connection without saying El Niño directly causes every fire or haze event.
It's a serious topic, but the careful wording helps.
Careful language helps us understand risk without creating unnecessary fear.
I have a headline here. It says, Strong El Niño.
What do you think that means?
My first thought is that every part of Southeast Asia must receive a strong impact.
That's a common misunderstanding. The strength describes the El Niño signal in the tropical Pacific.
So it isn't a damage score for every country?
It isn't.
Can a strong El Niño make typical effects more likely?
It can make some typical El Niño patterns more likely, but it still doesn't guarantee a particular result in every location.
Local seasons and other weather systems still matter.
They do. A strong event in the Pacific can meet very different local conditions across Southeast Asia.
A strong El Niño does not guarantee a strong local impact everywhere.
That is the sentence to remember when you see the word strong.
Can we use two imaginary cities again?
Let's do that. These cities are fictional, and this isn't a real forecast.
City Green normally receives regular rain during this season.
During a strong El Niño, City Green may experience a clearly drier season than usual.
City Blue is in the same broad region, but it's near a warm sea and a mountain area.
Other weather systems may bring City Blue enough rain for the season to finish near normal.
So City Green has a clear dry impact, while City Blue doesn't.
That's possible. The El Niño strength is the same large-scale signal, but the local outcomes are different.
Could City Blue still have some unusually dry weeks?
It could. A near-normal seasonal total doesn't mean every week was normal.
And City Green might still receive one or two heavy rain events.
Exactly. A drier season can still include heavy rain on some days.
That sounds almost opposite at first.
It becomes clearer when we separate daily weather from the average over a longer period.
We don't need to teach that whole difference again, but we need to remember it.
Right. We're only using it here to avoid an absolute statement.
So strong El Niño means a strong ocean and atmosphere pattern in the tropical Pacific.
It doesn't mean every city gets the same amount of dryness, heat, fire risk, or water stress.
Do official regional climate experts make this distinction too?
Yes. ASEAN Climate Information has explained that even a very strong El Niño doesn't necessarily mean larger impacts everywhere in Southeast Asia. Typical effects may become more likely, but local impacts still vary.
That makes the word strong less frightening and more precise.
Precision is useful. We can respect the risk without treating every outcome as certain.
Our imaginary city situation is complete.
And it leaves us with one message. Large-scale strength and local impact aren't the same thing. Let's try one more mini situation.
I'm reading a regional headline. El Niño may bring drier weather to Southeast Asia.
What would you do with that information?
I would use it as tomorrow's weather forecast for my home.
That would be too direct.
But the headline says Southeast Asia, and my home is in Southeast Asia.
The headline gives a broad regional picture. It doesn't tell you exactly what will happen in your town tomorrow.
So what should I check next?
Check information from your local or national meteorological service.
A meteorological service is an official weather service.
Right. It can provide details for your country, province, city, coast, island, or other local area.
Regional information gives the big picture.
Local information gives details for your area.
Could the regional outlook say drier conditions are more likely while my local forecast still shows rain tomorrow?
Absolutely. The outlook describes a broader period and area. Tomorrow's rain is a local daily event.
One rainy day doesn't cancel the regional outlook.
And one dry day doesn't prove the outlook will be correct for your exact location.
What if people only read the headline and stop there?
They may miss important differences in timing, location, and confidence.
But we aren't going to teach all the forecast words today.
No, we'll save that for our episode about understanding an El Niño forecast.
The regional outlook tells me what may happen broadly, but I still need local information.
That's the corrected understanding.
Should people also check updates instead of reading one old outlook?
They should. Weather conditions and forecasts can change as new information becomes available.
And local services understand local mountains, coastlines, rivers, and seasons.
That local knowledge is very important.
Could two national services describe nearby areas differently?
They may use different local details, time periods, or forecast products.
So I should use the service responsible for my own area.
That's the safest practical approach.
Our mini situation started with one broad headline.
And it ended with a better habit. Use the headline for context, then check local information. Let's practice only 3 sentences. We'll keep the practice short and natural.
3 sentences are enough to explain the main idea.
El Niño may bring less rain to some parts of Southeast Asia.
El Niño may bring less rain to some parts of Southeast Asia.
You can use that sentence when someone asks about the common regional tendency.
The word may shows that the result is possible, not certain everywhere.
And some parts stops us from speaking for the whole region.
Let me use it in a short context.
Go ahead.
El Niño may bring less rain to some parts of Southeast Asia, so people may watch seasonal rainfall more closely.
That works because you didn't say every area will become dry.
I also didn't say there will be no rain.
Now our second sentence. The effects are different across the region.
The effects are different across the region.
Where could you use that sentence?
I could use it after someone says every island and every mainland area will have the same weather.
Give us a simple example.
One area may be drier than usual, while another area may receive near normal rainfall. The effects are different across the region.
That sounds clear, and it connects the sentence to a real contrast.
Could I also use it for 2 places inside one country?
You could. A northern area and a southern coastal area may have different conditions.
So region can remind us that a large place contains many local areas.
Now the third sentence. The season and location both matter.
The season and location both matter.
Can you connect that with the monsoon?
El Niño's rainfall influence may be clearer during some parts of the southwest monsoon, but the result may differ during another season.
That gives a useful reason for the sentence.
My location also matters because I may live near a sea, behind a mountain, or far inland.
Exactly. Those local features may influence rainfall.
The 3 sentences work together.
Show us how.
El Niño may bring less rain to some parts of Southeast Asia. The effects are different across the region. The season and location both matter.
That's enough English to explain the main idea clearly and carefully.
I don't need a long list of countries or a difficult forecast chart.
Not for this basic explanation. You only need to avoid making the result sound certain everywhere.
Can I say, El Niño always causes drought in Southeast Asia?
No, that sentence is too absolute.
A better sentence is, El Niño may increase the chance of below normal rainfall in some areas.
That's careful, although below normal rainfall is a more formal phrase.
It means less rain than the usual amount for that area and season.
Correct. We don't need to practice the formal phrase today, but listeners may hear it in climate reports.
Can I say, El Niño stops the monsoon?
No, the monsoon can still bring rain during El Niño.
Some areas may simply receive less monsoon rain than usual.
That's a much better explanation.
Can I say, a strong El Niño always causes a severe disaster?
No, strong El Niño conditions don't guarantee a severe local impact everywhere.
The local result still depends on the season, location, monsoon, and other weather systems.
You're now using cautious language naturally.
It feels less dramatic, but more useful.
Accurate language often sounds calm. Corey, can you explain the whole episode in a few natural sentences?
Southeast Asia has many different local climates, so El Niño doesn't affect every place in the same way. It may increase the chance of less rain in some areas, especially during some seasons, but rain can still fall. Drier conditions may affect water supply, crops, and fire or haze risk, while local weather information is still necessary.
I'd only add that El Niño is one influence among several.
The monsoon, tropical weather systems, nearby seas, mountains, and local winds also matter.
That completes the picture without turning the recap into a list.
And I can finally explain why one dry cloud can't cover the whole map.
Are you ready to give our listeners a small challenge?
Let's do it.
Choose one imaginary area in Southeast Asia. It can be near a coast, on an island, in a farming area, or near mountains.
You don't need to name a real country.
Choose only one possible effect, such as rain, water supply, or haze risk.
Then what should the listener say?
Start with, El Niño may affect this area by, then add, but the result depends on.
I'll try a water example.
Go ahead.
El Niño may affect this area by bringing less rain, but the result depends on the season and the local water supply.
That's clear. You chose one effect and one reason the outcome may differ.
Could I use a haze example too?
Give us one, but keep it short.
El Niño may affect this area by increasing dry conditions, but the haze risk depends on fires, wind, and local weather.
That sentence also makes it clear that El Niño doesn't directly start the fires.
Listeners can choose one example and say it aloud once.
One clear answer is better than trying to include every possible effect.
What is our final takeaway?
El Niño may influence Southeast Asia, but there is no single forecast for the whole region.
I'm looking back at my map now.
Is the giant dry cloud still covering every country?
No, I replaced it with several smaller notes that say, location and season matter.
That's a much better map and a much better explanation.
I'll remember that a regional pattern gives us useful information, but it doesn't decide every local result.
And when you need details, check your local or national weather service.
This feels like a good place to end today.
Keep the 3 main sentences nearby and try the small challenge in your own words.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. See you next time. Bye-bye.